My name is Leo Adamowicz, but I'm known as Leo.
Leo.
Yeah, I've been known as Leo for the past 11 years.
You're Polish? From whereabouts in Poland?
I'm from Olsztyn. It's northeast of Poland, sharing the borders with the Lithuania and Russia.
Why did you come here?
Well, first of all, just to improve the language to such extent that would allow me to go back and get a better job, unfortunately. And as it happens, I came back after the first season of working here and I found out there was no jobs available, or those were available, were very badly paid. So I was most welcome here back, and after my employer called me back and offered me the job I had before, I decided to immediately to go back and settle myself down here.
What sort of jobs have you been doing in Jersey?
Well, I started to work as a waiter in a hotel, and I've worked for a couple of seasons as a waiter. Then I moved on to nightclubs and the bars, and I used to work as a barman, then head barman, supervisor. From there I go on to work at the Thomas Cook. I used to run a foreign exchange for the Thomas Cook here. From there I was approached by the HSBC Bank, and I was offered a job as a cashier, then customer service advisor, and eventually as a back office administrator for the HSBC Bank PLC. Afterwards, I worked for a private SG Hambros Bank down the Esplanade for half a year as a tax team administrator. Afterwards, I've moved on to run accommodation and property centre for 2 years until it was sold with me to another employer, and unfortunately I had to move on to another employment. And currently I'm managing one of the small companies here.
You've been here long enough, by the sound of it, to get your famous housing qualities. Have you got those yet?
Well, I've applied for that. Unfortunately, due to negligence of one of my former employers, I'm still waiting for the confirmation. But hopefully, as of the spring 2012, I'll be able to.
Are you a single man, married man?
I'm divorced. Yeah, I've been divorced for a couple of years now, so 3 years nearly.
In Jersey.
Yes, yeah. Well, I was married here, but I've divorced here as well. So.
I mean, you've obviously been busy all the time you've been here. We hear this time and time again about people, Portuguese, Polish, wherever they come from. Yeah. Oh, they work so hard. Yeah. Is this true in your experience? Do Polish people work hard? Or
well, some of them yes, some of them no. Obviously, with such a vast minority here, we're talking about thousands and numbers of people they wish to work. So we all get all sorts of people here. Those who would want to work, those who need to work, those who must work, and those who unfortunately do not work and then just abuse the system, you know, of the benefits as well. Some I know as well, they live in the shelters, so for the homeless people. So we got all sorts of people, like in every single nation, you know. There's no difference from being a British, Jersey or Polish. As you can see, just go down to the shelter and you see all sorts of nations being there. So
precisely how many? Possibly about 4,000 Polish, you think?
Yep,
there's no consul, there's no consulate office here?
No, unfortunately, as far as I'm concerned, we used to have an honorary consulate, but unfortunately that's been dissolved a couple of months ago, and we don't have any representatives.
Do you know why that was dissolved?
I believe the person who was doing the job quickly found out that doesn't have any powers, basically, because the powers given from London as a main base were not big enough, so the person basically had no influence, couldn't do basically anything, the hands were tied, and there was no point of running any office or any business, just giving away the forms.
Jersey wants to see itself as an international finance centre, attracting business all over the world.
Yep.
Is there any effort made to make contacts with Poland itself, between Jersey and Poland? Is anybody doing that?
I believe the links are not so strong towards the finance. I think there's not many companies being approached as, you know, obviously we're talking about the tax haven. I don't think a lot of companies in Poland will benefit and would benefit of having the offices in Jersey. Obviously there are bigger and stronger. I think the queue is quite long of those companies who wanted to set up their offices over here and benefit from the Jersey tax system.
Other businesses, I remember years ago somebody had a scheme to buy land and grow Jersey potatoes in Poland many years ago. That nothing came of that as far as I know. Well, there must be other business opportunities. It's a big place, Poland.
Yeah, well, there are definitely the biggest opportunities, but I think the Jersey wouldn't benefit financially as much as having a business with Poland as they could do with the other countries, especially with the banking system of any other country. So inviting the finance rather than agriculture makes a lot more money and brings more assets to Jersey than it could be with any agricultural industry. So I believe from this point of view, the Jersey would never approach in this regard any other agricultural industry.
Other businesses? What sort of things do they do? Manufacturing used to be a great manufacturing country, Poland. Presumably it's the same?
Yeah, well, we've got everything. We're a massive country, so we're the biggest and best, the quickest developing industry in Europe. We're globally doing very, very well at the moment. So we've got all sorts of industries and cars, factories, everything, basically every single aspect of the economy is doing very well in Poland, and so whatever you think of, you can name it, and we're there. So
there's the great world scare, economic scare going on now. Europe is especially affected. Is Poland being much affected by that?
Well, as every single country, recession hits everyone and everywhere, but I think we were quite well ready for it. I think with the instruments we've had and our support from the European Union, I think we've done really well, and we've gone through these different and difficult times quite well. Although, like I said, we're still being affected like every other country. But I think it's more down to the propaganda as well than the real effects of the recession. I think it's more down to frightening people with the bad and terrible news rather than being a true story.
If for any reason you lost your current job today, would you know where to go tomorrow in Jersey to find a job? Could you find a job?
Easily.
There's jobs here, you think?
There are jobs. There are plenty of jobs who are available. And if you speak the language, like I believe myself, to such extent that you can communicate easily with your employer, and I say I've been here long enough, so I've known people as well, and I've got a lot of experience here, so I believe I'll be able to find a job with no troubles whatsoever.
You list the jobs you've been in various over the years. You sound like you've always been employed. Put your hand to anything. Is that again not typical of Polish people, or is it?
It is quite typical. Yeah, I haven't found. Well, I've known thousands of Poles, and I haven't found many those who have struggled with getting from one job to another. Basically, what the people do as well, before they easily give up the job because they're not happy, they don't like it. Just they secure another job before they go. So from there.
There's a lot of communities here now. Obviously the Portuguese have been here a very long time, very well established, but they're not represented politically. That's rather strange. Does that puzzle you, the Polish people? Any Polish aspirations to be represented in the Jersey State?
I think it should be, as every other big country, even in Poland, Germany, every other country has got their minorities being represented. We're talking about big minorities. We're not talking about one or two people. We're talking about thousands of people, which in Jersey makes 3 or 4%, maybe even more.
Well, if all those 4,000 people, if they were all adults, that would be 10% of the working population, if they were all working.
And basically we're talking about all adults, because there was a few Polish children here, let's say maybe a few hundred Polish children, but they're mostly the adults. So we're talking about maybe a 10% of our population, which is not represented in any kind of a form or shape. Same with the Portuguese. No representatives, no such a majority, well, minorities, which like Polish and Portuguese too, make basically maybe 20 or 30% of all community, of all population, they're not represented in Jersey.
Jersey doesn't have any anti-discrimination legislation at the moment. Is that a problem as far as a Polish immigrant is concerned?
Well, it is kind of a problem. It's not the major problem, but I think it's more on a hidden agenda. It's just a lot of people may think unfortunately badly towards any immigrants or any foreigners. Unfortunately, they do not speak about. So some of them do, and as I've come across a few racist abuse as well myself. But I think it's a general problem. But like I say, it's a hidden agenda rather than being well known, because it's all hushed up.
There are lots of other small groups here now. The Romanians are becoming quite a large number of Romanians here now. Russians, Ukrainians, a lot of Eastern Europe. There was quite a strong Kenyan community. I don't know if how many are here now. Do you, as immigrants, do you mix together, or do you keep amongst yourselves? What happens?
Mostly, I think we keep to ourselves. As you can see with the Portuguese as well, they've got their own cafes. I think it's the part of the culture when they. It's more down to the family culture, as we are brought up with a strong family culture. So we'd rather stick to ourselves and our close friends and the families. Yes, but sometimes obviously we do mix up, as we've got mixed marriages, we've got the mixed couples. So it is quite, it is a bit of a mix up, but it's not too strong. I would say rather being close to ourselves.
Unemployment is a current worry. Housing's always been a worry. There are these pressures in society, especially in a small community like Jersey. When they become more apparent, like now with unemployment, does that worry you as an immigrant? You a backlash?
Not personally, it doesn't worry me at all. It's just like I said, because I said if you know where to go, where to look for the work, and if you've got experience, if you speak the language well enough, I don't think you should find any big trouble in this even hard times. Housing, it is always, like you said, been a worry, and it always will be a worry. As as long as it's not sorted. And I believe there are a few instruments could be applied to it, but unfortunately they wouldn't benefit a lot of people. And I think there's a strong lobby of house owners and people who own the properties within housing and within states. So I don't think anything would be done about it.
Are there any particular problems amongst the Polish community that you think need to be addressed? Is there any?
No, I don't think. I say the main problem of all of us, I think, as a foreigners, is just the housing standard of housing, rents, which is sometimes completely from out of the planet, I would say, basically, because the prices should never be that high as they are not in the UK, for example. The whole cost of living is so high here for no apparent reason. For no apparent reason, it shouldn't be.
As far as you can monitor, are Polish people still arriving here, or is the trend to go away?
Yeah, well, there's not so much trend to go away because there's nowhere really to go. So people might go to UK. People, I've known a few people, they left Jersey going to UK and they well settled there and they're quite happy there. And it's not the truth that there is a massive difference in the economy-wise. There's not massive difference salary-wise. As in the minimum salary in Jersey, we're talking about £6 and £50 an hour, when the minimum salary in UK is at £5.80. So it's not in terms of salary. It's not massive difference, but it's a massive difference in rent. It's a massive difference in the price in the shops. Having a Tesco's, having all the big chains, Asda, where you can get the food, which is the basics of your life.
I suppose because you've got a Polish community here, they tend to bring relatives across on holiday. There is a sort of a commercial activity going on, which maybe the general population isn't aware of. There must be a backwards and forwards. People go from here to Poland on holiday and bring people here on holiday. There's little Polish shops opening here. There's a bit of a sort of subculture of commerce going on, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, and which is good, because obviously we want some kind of sense of a home. So for a lot of people who've been not long enough, that might relieve of a homesick. There might be a relief of a homesick, and for a lot of people who are well established here, like myself, we used to our old products like a British art as well. Obviously, this makes easier to live here when you got a bit of a home abroad. Thousands and thousands of miles away.
We're told that a lot of Polish people are Catholics. Is that true in your experience?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Is that very strong here?
Yeah, this is very strong. That's why we're having a masses in St Thomas's Church and the Wellington Church and the Wellington Street Church. There is like a very strong and big community, and we got our Polish priest here as well. So yes, it is.
Coming up to Christmas now, they have a special event, special Christmas celebration, Polish.
Yeah, there would be a few in the church as well. Obviously, the special masses and the Christmas Eve and the night one, and as I say, and all the Catholic events would be preceded. But so I'm not personally Catholic, but I respect and my family are Catholics as well. So.
Okay, we'll leave it there. It's most interesting talking to you, and I'm going to try and talk to some other groups over the next few weeks.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.